Hi Girl Scouts, thanks for joining me as today we're going to build our own mini greenhouses inside our home. So what you're gonna need is a couple plastic cups or a plastic gardening container. I didn't have plastic cups, so I used a Tupperware, and then I just transplanted another plant into my garden, so I have a pot with soil. And then a couple weeks ago I did a tutorial on scrap gardening, and so I'm actually gonna take the seeds that I germinated from a lemon and I'm gonna create a greenhouse with them. So what a greenhouse is it's usually made of glass or plastic, and it looks like just a normal home or building. Sometimes it's a lot smaller if you wanted to put it in your backyard. But basically what a greenhouse does is it takes the sun's energy, and a lot of times we know that as heat, so it traps the heat inside the greenhouse, and naturally heat rises. So it's gonna rise and warm the plants. Greenhouses are great, especially in the winter, when a lot of areas are very cold, some areas snow, and the greenhouse traps that heat, traps that energy, and keeps the plants warm and healthy year round. So with the greenhouse and the glass traps the heat. It can't be released. A little bit of it can be released, but not much. And then larger scale greenhouses will also have fans. And those fans will circulate CO2 and oxygen because plants take CO2 and sun or vitamin D, and they absorb that and create sugar. And that sugar is the plant's food. Okay, so what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna show you what my seeds look like. I honestly thought they molded, so I'm very excited to see that they're growing. So as you can see here, this is a little root from the lemon seed, and you can start to see there's some little green, and that's the plant, and I have 3 of these. So let me pull them out gently. So there's another one. Some of them got stuck to the paper towel because they really liked absorbing that water in there. And there's my 3rd one. So this was technically a little mini greenhouse of its own because I trapped the heat and the light in here, and then I had a moist paper towel, and so that towel basically watered the plants. And because it was trapped in there, it created humidity, which is water in the air. And so I didn't need to water it or keep the paper towel wet through the sink. It naturally did that, which is what greenhouses kind of do for themselves as well. You will need to water your plants, but not as often as you would if it was just in a pot outside. All right, so I have some soil here. Basically, I'm just gonna poke my finger through and create 3 holes about 6 inches deep, or the length of your finger. I don't know if you can see that. So there's 3 little holes. And I'm gonna plant the seeds. All right, so don't know if you can see, there's the 3 seeds, you can see that one. I'm gonna cover them up with the soil. And I have a little spray bottle because I'm doing this inside. If you're outside, you can use your hose. Just be gentle, you don't want too much water going into this, especially since they're seeds. You might push the soil away and then the seeds rise and they're not covered and protected, and sometimes your friendly neighborhood squirrel will grab them and basically take the seeds and eat them, which happens to me a lot. All right, so I'm gonna spray it. I also have a protective thing under here because there's great drainage, which is great for your plant. You don't want it to be stuck in moisture, otherwise mold or algae will come about. So basically I'm gonna spritz it. Just enough so the soil is wet. And then this perfectly fit for me, so I don't need to tape it or anything. But if you want to tape yours, especially if you're using 2 plastic cups, you want to tape them together, you can do that. That totally works. It just worked out for me that this perfectly fits on top of a pot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this next to the window in my kitchen, and I'm just gonna let them grow. And once the plant gets big enough, maybe it starts hitting the top of this, who knows? Once it gets big enough, I'll transplant it into a bigger pot outside. All right. That's it. You just made your own mini greenhouse in your home. You can do this with every kind of seed that you have. If you wanted to make flowers, or you had fruits or vegetables and you wanted to start your garden, this is a great way to speed up the process of growing your plants before you put them outside or in a bigger pot. So I highly recommend making your own mini greenhouse anytime you can. All right, thanks Girl Scouts.